in Mario are always annoying as hell, and this level is no different. I've played through the first 3 levels of Dolor like a million times at this point, so it was pretty easy for me at least. Moving past the locked door, a bunch of scary Mario arms are just kinda hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, I've got this problem too. I think it's a type of mold, or maybe even a fungus. You get it? Because it's like Mario. Super Slendio grabs you from the shadows and then teleports you into this level's spooky altar. I will say that an issue I've got with this game is some of the level theming. I feel like we've had a fairly consistent horror theme throughout, this harsh, bloody red and black look, throwing in what essentially is just the SCP Foundation. I feel like doesn't make a ton of sense, but I mean, it's not a huge detriment. This level and its enemies just feel a little out of place is all. For this part of the level, you've got to sneak around to avoid these Marios a lot, luring them into pits, hiding in the closets, disappearing into nothing, all valid tactics here. It all culminates in this one strange red room, with this person sobbing to themselves. Do they do anything harmful? No, but Mario doesn't have time for a big dumb stupid crybaby, so you can just peace out immediately. Build together another key, go through this normal, regular door, and come face to face with the boss, King Dry Bones. I fucking love when Mario bosses are just regular enemies, but big and with a crown. The boss kinda just slides his hands all around, and then he'll get mad when it doesn't kill you. Another easy boss fight down. Oh shit! You remember I said about him earlier? Quick, get out of there, Mario! Another level is finally completed. I sure hope the flagpole doesn't gain sentience. I knew that son of a bitch was alive. After dealing with an actual moving goalpost, the crying red crybaby idiot stupid head appears again, and slowly says the words, "It was not young." Unfortunately, I broke the game and then fell off the map before you could finish. Nice going, Toad Chump. Anyways, if you don't break the game, you can eventually reach the flag and move to level 4. Why did he do that? Next up is the underwater level. I love the underwater Mario music, so hearing this softer rendition of Dire Dire Knocks was a real treat. You know the drill by now, the level's fairly normal, something goes wrong, a scream. This time the pipe just doesn't work. I honestly thought that I was doing something wrong until I just realized that I had to follow this floating Mario games. Now, how I felt for this game's deception after playing it multiple times, I'm a Dragon Ball fan, we're not very smart. Everything's why you're a bitch, but we know for a fact a monstrous beast is on the loose. And that loose beast who happens to be monstrous drops out of nowhere, forcing you to platform through the heel's body. I really had to do this kid. I've always had a thing with shrinking down and going into people's bodies. As a kid, I hated that one SpongeBob episode where they did it with Squidward, and the Futurama episode gave me the creeps. All you've got to do to survive is avoid these acid pools and then figure out one of those puzzles where you have to like turn all the lights on, but then when you hit a light, the ones next to it like turn off. Is there a name for this? I really don't know. Eventually, these little dead Marios start swimming towards you, which raises the tension a little, but it was still pretty easy to make my way out of the heel. After a cutscene, you're straight out of Rambo, back to happy-go-lucky Mario time. This time you're thrown into a standard sky level. I swear to God, if this game ends up being a huge Mario is on shrooms joke, I will Super Mario run against oncoming traffic. The boss this time around is a giant squid in the sky, who forces you to dodge bullet bills and their giant tentacles. All I'm gonna say is, should have given them a crown, it would have been better. No scary twist ending this time, just a regular flagpole. The last level is finally here, Bowser's Castle. The last level is finally here, Bowser's Castle. Similar to other castle levels in Mario games, you've got your lava pits, fireballs, swamps, it's all you could ask for. Remember way earlier in the video when I said the hitboxes were weird as hell? These swamps definitely show what I meant by that. That did not hit me. Fight Bowser as per usual, which I really love when he flops off the map. And finally, well, you get nothing. It's empty, and once again, I thought I broke the game, so I just hopped into the lava like any other normal which was really weird because you have no lives, but the weirdness was immediately validated when I was thrown into a whole new level. This is the true final castle, where you fight the true final boss, the weird Shadow Mario that's been stalking you the whole game. I don't really know what to call this guy. The Wikipedia has a Burgers, which is the Wikipedia stuff. Says its name is the Shadow, but honestly, I don't like that. So I'm gonna be calling him Giggles. I call him that because I kinda giggled when he lunged toward the screen really slowly. My friend Tom said he looks like a Francis. He doesn't look like a Francis. He looks like a Giggles. Damn, that's fine. This boss fight has a lot more going for it than the other ones. Giggles has the attack systems up. His eyeball tornado, hand lasers combined with spikes, and these key blasts that fly across the screen. The hand lasers were without a doubt the worst, because once again, those janky-ass hitboxes made it so hard to determine if I would run into his hands or lasers whenever I landed. And don't even get me started on when you hit him 2 times, because then he throws purple. Never trust a purple guy. You never know what they're plotting. When you hit them enough though, they go into this overdrive mode where they not only speed up their attacks, but they introduce this Medusa stare that's a one-hit KO. I was so confused the first time he did this. I was saving 1 second, and then I wasn't. I won't lie, I struggled for over half an hour to beat this guy. I feel like once you got the patterns down well enough, and you got some decent RNG with where your jumps land during the laser section, you could beat Giggles fairly easily. After stopping on his head enough times, balls up the castle like Mongo and Shrek 2 did. Mario walks past the fallen Giggles on the ground, and all of a sudden, we cut to reality. Mario appears to have been taking some sort of pills. Thank God he was just pills though. I was fully prepared for mushrooms, I swear. So it turns out Mario was actually taking antidepressants this whole time. But how do we know this? Well, you can actually find out by playing the best ending. What? You thought Mario horror game wasn't gonna have multiple endings? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? I mentioned earlier that there are these green stars sprinkled throughout the map. If you manage to collect all 5 of these, you can find this star door in the final level and fight the true final boss of the game. Nothing too notable about how you get the stars, except that there's one hidden in the secret Bomb Battlefield level. To get to this level, after you deal with your little game of problems, you just have to backtrack on the level screen to the glitched out area. You gotta fight King the Bomb to get the star though. Welcome back, Mario enemy with a crown on your head. I missed you dearly. He's a little annoying because you've gotta time these bomb throws to hit him, but really it's nothing difficult. Wrangle in all 5 stars from the various levels, make your way to the star door, and you can finally fight the true boss. Gee, from Luigi's Mansion 3? The boss fight is pretty similar to the Giggles one, except now you fight a giant evil Luigi instead of Giggles. This ain't Giggles anymore though, this is Green Giggles. Once again, not too much different from the last boss fight, he's just tougher and faster. If you manage to beat Green Giggles, you once again wake up in reality, but this time, he decides to pick up these flowers on the table. As he slowly walks in this void, credits begin to roll, as it's revealed that Mario was in flowers down for Luigi. This was all just Mario battling with the loss of his brother, and that's why he was on the medication. Through this ending, Mario is finally able to move on and be in peace. Also, there's a bad ending where Mario walks in the void as a voice talks about pain and suffering. Brutal stuff, but who cares? I'll take an evil Luigi boss fight over that in a heartbeat. And that marks the end of Super Mario Dolor. A very unique experience in the genre of Mario horror. It's definitely one of my favorites, maybe not the best, but I do still find it a really fun time. I love the goofiness of the graphics. It not only nails that uncanny valley vibe, but when things start glitching out and going wrong and whatnot, the 3D models really assist in amplifying that feeling. I need more of whatever this is in my life pronto. The other main thing I really like is the gameplay. Sure, it's pretty similar to most Mario games, but I mean, Mario is fun, what can I say? I definitely view this more often as a Mario game rather than a Mario horror game, but I feel like the horror aspects are generally integrated well into the gameplay. I like the sneaking sections from the big Mario head, the whole eel level, and of course the boss fights. One thing I'll say is that some of the bosses were shorter. Some of them, like the chain chomp one or the final bosses, go on for a while. So if I died towards the end, it was just annoying to get back to where I was. That's probably just a skill issue on my end though. And of course, what is a horror game without, well, the horror? I'll admit that this wasn't anything crazy, and that might have been because I've seen this bait and switch horror game a million times before, but not only one of the earlier ones to do this, it was one of the earlier ones to do it well. The world corrupting and falling apart makes sense in context to the story. Mario having this nightmarish and depressed feeling lingering on his mind influenced his dreams to create this world. It wasn't ever like outright scary, but it was definitely unsettling at times. That big dude who launched at me when I was chasing the flagpole was kind of creepy though. Personal space buddy, come on. I highly recommend that you check out Super Mario Dolor if you haven't already, especially if you're a fan of Mario horror games. And let me tell ya, if you don't play Super Mario Dolor, you're gonna turn into a Goomba. Before, or even dipped your toes into the world of creepypasta, you probably know about Sonic EXE, or, if you click on this video. Sonic.exe was a creepypasta from 2011 about a kid making a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog, but as an executable file. Playing the game, Ted dies, Jules dies, Gold dies, and when the kid playing the game dies to a bloody Sonic butt. Everybody knows the story at this point, and even more people know about the game that was based on the story. Created in 2012 by Miss Crimson, a game based on the story of Sonic EXE took the internet by storm. It wasn't exactly stellar quality, which I mean is kind of a result of the source material being garbage, but still, you cannot deny this game's reach when it came out. Tons, and I mean tons of people were playing this game. Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, LeBron James. Don't try to fact check that last one, just trust me. Without a doubt, this game was popular. So popular, in fact, that it created an entire subgenre of horror games called EXE games, named after the CD who wrote it himself. Now, although generally inspired, not every EXE game is just a straight rip of the original Sonic EXE. But today, I thought it would be fun to check out some EXE games that use the same formula as the original Sonic EXE. Most of these are fairly well known in the EXE community, so don't worry, I'm not going to go out of my way to critique some random game on Scratch called FF3.exe. That, of course, deserves its own video. And also, just to clarify, I'm critiquing the games themselves, not the people behind them. Don't go be an asshole or harass someone just because of a silly creepypasta game they made a decade ago. And if you do, I will personally hit you with the unmatched destructive power of the sun. So without further ado, let's talk about some EXE games, starting with none other than Aladdin.exe. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, that game has to sound so strange to you. Hey, you remember that one horror game where a boo gets stabbed to death? It's an absolute classic there, I'd say. Aladdin.exe was a game created in 2014 by Orbit77, whose name you might recognize as they were well known in the EXE community. Also, fun fact about this game, goddamn PewDiePie played it. Oh my god, he uploaded this 8 years ago? I remember when this video came out. Anyways, I'll be honest in my review with this game, and my review is that this is just a shorter Sonic EXE with a new code paint. Now granted, this game is almost a decade old at this point, and I'm not going to dig into this game and shame the creator for not making the next Elder Scrolls. This video is here to look into the influence that Sonic EXE had and how these games and their developers played a part in the creepypasta game community. With that being said, who's ready to see a bunch of falling bloody-eyed Aladdins? The game opens up with a very small window, playing a scene featuring Aladdin asking Jasmine if she trusts him. Jasmine didn't read the title of this game though, and goes for this hand. The game freezes and leads to a fake blue screen, a likely reference to Sally.exe, the secret to Sonic EXE. We'll talk about that soon. The title screen appears, and it's the one from the Genesis Aladdin game. Just how I remembered it. Flashing images of MS Paint, Aladdin, and all. You start the game as a silly monkey companion. Unfortunately, once you walk to the right and hit the very end of the map, Aladdin attacks and kills you. The controls and the gameplay well, I can definitely say this is a TXT game. Extremely limited movement and all. The best way to describe this game, and really most TXT games from this era, is a walking simulator. Next character you play as is Robin Williams, and you're just kind of trapped in this box, waiting for Aladdin to start bouncing around the box, and eventually he kills you too. Also, there's these silly little quips in between characters similar to Sonic EXE, such as, no more wishes for you, Genie, give this man a Netflix comedy special. Last but not least, you play as Jafar, who has to deal with a sudden downforce threatening Aladdin. Jafar dies, the game tells you that you'll die, and a round 2 is asked for. And then the game just ends. It doesn't close, it doesn't take you back to the title, it just ends, and you're left on a black screen. Back at your sad, regretful reflection, maybe making you wonder, what am I doing here? Then Aladdin EXE has 3 key messages behind it. Now, this game has a pretty decent reach online. It got around on YouTube with such people like PewDiePie and Mudahar playing it. Also, my brother somehow knew what this was, so yeah, I can say some people knew about this game. Games like this, while very obviously trying to imitate Sonic EXE and doing so poorly, did help in spreading the word of EXE games, and maybe even help fuel the trend of EXE games as a whole. It just goes to show that even games like this can have a somewhat positive impact around it, and that's pretty cool. Also, there was a Craze Edition. Yeah, this one's definitely a product of its time. However, we're not done with this game yet, Oldham 77, because they made another EXE game, but unlike Aladdin, it spawned sequels, a remake, there was boss fights, there was overlapping lore. It was a whole fucking cinematic universe with this series. Also created by Oldham 77, Toy Story.exe is an EXE game about Evil Woody killing his friends. It's like that one song where an Evil Woody kills his friends. I'll kill you. This one was also released in 2014. However, unlike Aladdin EXE, this one is a straight-up duplicate of the Sonic game. The description says so. Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. This game is unironically more fun to play than Sonic EXE. However, it does still heavily take inspiration from that game. The sequels are when it comes more to its own. Don't you worry, we'll get into that soon enough. The game opens up with a cinematic cutscene straight out of Movie Maker itself. And I mean, that's one thing that Sonic EXE didn't have. 1 point for Toy Story. Let's go, baby! The story goes that while Andy was playing with his toys, Woody's head accidentally came off during playtime, as elegantly shown by this quick jump scare of just normal-ass Woody. Why did they include that? Andy, assuming playtime was over, went to bed. Unfortunately for him, Woody overreacted just a bit and proceeded to fucking torture Andy. Oh my god, dude. You literally lost your arm in the second movie. I didn't see you throwing him in the meat grinder for that one. Anyways, with the killer Woody now on the loose, you're left to play as the other toys and survive. After a silly static film intro, you drop into the game as Rex the dinosaur. With some black staircases to overcome and the yells of the dam in the background, you're on your way. Eventually, after roaming through the map to the right for a bit, you're met with a text box reading, "You can't escape." Now Woody EXE covers the walls, blood rains from above, and the floor is covered with set blood. Coming across some aliens who are just not in the best predicament, Rex is shot in the head and dies. And Woody just laughs like a sick, twisted, fucking psychopath. More text appears on the screen, and Woody exclaims that he's in the mood for a baked potato, leading into the next character, Mr. Potato Head. This is a listed song on GameJolt, by the way. I cannot wait to play Baked Potato at the next family gathering. Anyway, similar to Rex, you just walk to the right. This time, however, you come across a body, and it appears to be Buzz. I thought it was weird that Rex was playable, but not Buzz. Now, before I could really think about that, Woody attacked me and hit me with a jump scare. This led into the last segment of the game. In this level, you play as Rocky from Toy Story. Okay, I won't lie, I kind of love the decision to grab a random-ass background character from the movie and make them the last person. It gives the game just a bit more charm, in my opinion. Making your way to the top of the map through staircases, you hear a clicking noise coming down towards you. I think it's supposed to be spikes coming down on you, but I never actually saw them. I was out of it. You can outrun them and fall into a pit that's at the bottom of the map. Woody is his real name. You walk as Rocky through this eyesore of a level. Did Woody really have to be flashing this fast? Come on, man. Once you get to the end, you're finally confronted by Woody, and you're actually given the option to join him or not. However, knowing this SOB won't offer any job benefits, I opted not to join him. You then launch into an actual boss fight against Woody. Now, you have to defeat him by stomping on his head a couple times. However, Woody is constantly attacking you and also summoning lightning. If you are hit even one time, it's game over and you have to play through the whole thing to try again. Oh, and the game over screen is just a picture of dirty Woody and the Sonic EXE end screen music playing. I'm glad the description clarified it wasn't 100% original. Saying how Galaxy. If you manage to beat Woody, Rocky's just kind of like, nah, he's probably dead, and he walks away. Woody waits up to pay for a sequel, and that's the end. Except this wasn't actually the end. Most EXE games, especially ones derivative of Sonic EXE, are one and done. However, Booster EXE is a unique case, as there was a sequel that eventually came out. This was followed by a third game, a fourth game, and even a demo for a remake that's looking pretty solid. All of these games have multiple endings, new additions such as 3D animated cutscenes, and an overlapping lore. It's really cool to see this game go from a Sonic EXE copycat to this passionate long-running game series. Now, I can't really speak to the quality of these sequels as I've only ever watched bits and pieces of them, but I can guarantee they're probably better than whatever I played. Let me know if you want me to cover this game series in the future. It could make for an interesting topic. Oh, and don't forget about the crazy reviews. If Aladdin could do it, so can Toy Story. Now, this next game isn't necessarily a clone, but it kind of fits the qualifications of what I'm looking for here. And I might get a little bit of flack for this, but that game is Sally.exe. Oh, great. I've upset all 3 Sally EXE fans. So, quick context for those of you who don't know, Sally EXE was created by Miss Crimson and is the official sequel to the game of Sonic EXE. Now, I know what you're thinking, how could a sequel to Sonic EXE be a clone? Well, it's a clone alright, just not of Sonic EXE, but regular old Sonic. So, quick lore drop, Sonic was a creepypasta video on YouTube made by Chanelli. It featured some sort of haunted Sonic game where Sonic was glitched out of existence by a special stage, dashed into a wall of spikes and killed, and crushed to death. It all ended in the ultimate chimera for Mother 3 killing Sonic, but that's not important. What is important is that there was someone out there who stole the ideas from this video, matched it together with the original Sonic EXE story, created the creepypasta story Sally EXE. Miss Crimson saw this story and decided to make a game based on it, unaware of its history. Once he found out about the story's criticism, he stopped supporting the game and updated the description to mention this. Huge props to Crimson for addressing this. It's gotta suck to have something like this happen to your game. Alright, lore drop is over. Let's talk about Sally here. The game opens up with a clip from the Sad AM Sonic cartoon. Sally and Sonic are talking, and Sonic asks one of the world's most annoying questions. Oh, thank God it crashed my computer. Only that you have indeed been fooled, and there was never a blue screen in the first place. Unlike the original Sonic EXE game that tried to disguise its malicious nature at the beginning of it, this game just lays its cards out on the table immediately, as you're greeted with a bloody title card featuring Amy Rose in the deck. This game takes a similar format to Sonic EXE. No way, really? You play as 3 characters, the first one being Amy. You decide to follow Sonic jumping into a special stage ring, and even though I'm absolutely cracked at the Sonic World special stages, I eventually gave up and jumped into the goal. The goal, however, just earned me a scary dance party courtesy of Sonic. Next up is Cream the Rapper, and also Amy is now dead on the title screen. As Cream, you can grab the speed box on the ground, which leads to like a million more speed boxes lined up in a row. Going insanely fast and unable to stop, you smash into a wall of spikes, killing you instantly. Last but not least is the character herself, Sally. Strange choice to have Sally be the last character, not Rouge or Funny, I don't know. Anyway, Sally is trapped in this little box here as it slowly closes in on itself and crushes Sally to death. This text appears on the screen saying, Sonic my love, and then Sonic kisses Sally, but then Sonic turns evil, and then some fucking golden French voice plays, and then Sally pops up on screen with stitched closed eyes. This all happens in like the span of 3 seconds, so it's really hard to keep up with. This lovely game over screen pops up featuring Sally, Acorn, and Hell, and I don't really know what else to say here. I think I've used this exact fire gift before, but I could be wrong. And now with Sally.exe, the more forgettable entry in the Sonic EXE series. I mean, there's only 2 entries, so at least not really fair, but still. You might know that I'm a sucker for fourth wall breaks, so I appreciated the attempts at the beginning to do that. But really, other than that, this was just another bland Sonic EXE game. Same 3-character formula, same non-existent gameplay, same silly bloody jump scares. I think that this game is trying to be a recreation of a story, but it's still a game, you know, make it fun. I do understand the unwillingness to touch this game for a remake nowadays, though, due to its history. Despite not being nearly as popular as its bloody-eyed twin, this game was normally played alongside Sonic EXE on YouTube. Although its legacy kinda died out fast, it's still an interesting footnote in the history of creepypasta games. I am genuinely wondering if anyone at Sega has played these games. I am offering $100 to anyone who can have concrete proof of this happening. Here's my Twitter handle, find me. Alright, so Sonic EXE, kinda iffy on if you want to consider it a clone or not. But this next game is definitely a straight rip of the original Sonic EXE, and it's titled SpongeBob.exe. I swear, there are so many of these games. Like, actually, go to Google right now and Google any popular franchise that put .exe at the end. I guarantee you will find something. Like, who the hell decided one day, I think I'm gonna make Monopoly.exe. So, listen, I'm a fairly positive guy. I try to give every game, regardless of where it's coming from, a fair shot, and mostly focus on the good things I find about it. However, somehow SpongeBob.exe is the first game that I have absolutely nothing positive to say about on this channel. I'm sorry, but when you drag down my silly little man, there's hell to pay. Created by Creepypasta and later taken down, SpongeBob.exe is exactly what it sounds like, a SpongeBob.exe game. It's also apparently a revival of a previous game. Hey, Lost Media people, where are you at on finding the original SpongeBob.exe build? A warning message is presented before the game starts, and I legitimately cannot tell if this is ironic or not. Warning, this version of the game is really harsh, and it might make you cry if you are highly triggered to any content to any. Who wrote this, huh? If you sissy liberal snowflakes can handle SpongeBob.exe, you got soft hands. Greeted with the world's best title screen, you can jump right into the game and play as Patrick. Okay, I lied about not being able to say anything positive about this game, because it does use music from Super Sponge, so it gets a point for that, I guess. Eventually, after walking to the right for a while, the music cuts as Patrick, similar to Tails with Sonic, runs into the evil SpongeBob. You now have to traverse a void as Patrick, and after walking for a few minutes, this face appears behind you, and then disappears. Alright, you're now presented with some parkour as spikes rise from the bottom. Unaware that I could jump 3 times in a row for the first few seconds, I died pretty quick. Hearing the Patrick scream when I died took me out of the game immediately though, and made me audibly chuckle. Next up is Squidward, who you walk to the right with, come across some blood on the ground, and walk to the right just a little bit more, so that you can encounter SpongeBob. Scared of my raw power, he disappeared pretty quickly. Squidward's on top, baby. Alright, for once, I think I agree with evil SpongeBob. How did Squidward not see this car coming towards him? Lastly is Eugene Krabs, who SpongeBob says he will love this one. I assume that this meant it might have had something to do with money, but no, SpongeBob's just talking out of his ass with this one. Similar to the last two, you walk to the right in a dark area. There's a very brief jump scare, a change of scenery including these giant red eyes, and eventually getting a wrecked SpongeBob jump scare that crashes your game. I took that as a sign to live a SpongeBob.exe free existence from here on out. I don't really know what to say about this one. Unlike Toy Story or Sally.exe, there really wasn't a purpose behind this one other than to make Sonic.exe, but with SpongeBob. Also, this game's attempts to make SpongeBob.exe this cool, badass game only for the cool kids is absolutely hilarious. I hope the creator goes on to keep creating more games and improve. I mean, this game's like 6 or 7 years old, so I don't doubt they've put this in the past. Once again, don't be an asshole for these creators. We're just talking about some silly EXE games. It's not that serious. Now, because of its quality, this game was kind of funny to play at times, but how about a Sonic game where the main goal is to be funny? You might want to sit down for this one, because next up, we're talking about a 2016 Sonic parody game. Alright, this game isn't exactly a copy of the original, but it is a parody which follows the game's events exactly, so I'm covering it. Wanna go play? story, this wasn't the only Sonic parody game made by creator Looney Tunes. They initially made a game called Sulky, which was a goofy, silly version of a Sonic game. Shortly after this, or maybe the exact same day if the game's upload dates are correct, Sulky.mpeg was born. Looking at the thumbnail and title, it's very obviously a Sonic EXE parody, but the real question is, does it still hold up as a comedic experience? Alright, listen, I thought this game was hilarious as a kid, but honestly, I am genuinely terrified to see the 8-year-old internet humor. Sulky.mpeg starts just as Sonic EXE does, with a fake-out title screen and character select. However, this character select screen plays We Are Infinity, and the clouds say poopy. They need to study this shit in game design classes or something. When I say shit, I mean shit, literally. Let's start with Tails, which when selecting plays the SpongeBob laugh sound effect, that actually got a laugh out of me, I won't lie. Green Hill Zone is a little out of the ordinary this time around, with copyrighted music, little wacky faces on the totem poles, and Tails just looking like he's having the time of his life. Even when he passes animal corpses, he's still got that award-winning... Oh, and thank God they clarified that this one was dead. I honestly couldn't tell. You finally come across the haunted hedgehog, and after giving him a little poke, you're met with the message, "Gotta go fest." Like, I'm not gonna knock this game for this sort of humor too much, but this really shows its age. Do you remember Sonic? That shot was just hilarious when I was like 10. Like the original Sonic EXE, Tails is sent to the Burning Angel Island zone, but this time it's called, Patty Cake. Wonderful. With a whimsical smile, Tails walks through the dangerous area. Sulky then begins the infamous pursuit against the box. And if this were any other Sonic EXE game, Tails would be ripped to absolute shreds here. However, this just ends with Tails tripping, sniffling just a little bit, and yeah, it's kinda over. Next up is Knuckles. In the level, you might not be able to run, but I may need to double check that. Knuckles nonchalantly walks and jumps past bloodstains and encounters Sulky. This text right here aged like the finest of wines. Some derpy music plays as Knuckles slides around attacking Sulky. I'd love to play the music, but I'm like 95% sure this is just some random-ass copyrighted song. If you're dying to hear the random silly noises, go and download the game. Eventually, Knuckles loses his fucking mind, and the screen cuts to black. Sulky loves to dance, by the way, as portrayed through the elegant take on a classic Sonic EXE line, "So many dances to dance, so little dance, wouldn't you dance?" Lastly, we have my favorite egghead robot, who looks really sad for some reason. Everything alright? You walk through this dark area for a little while, but eventually the game begins to fade to black. A tragic scene plays out as Robotnik falls into the void, never to be seen again. That isn't to a dance party, but it's out. Whoa! One quick dance party and the game cuts to static. And instead of the hyper-realistic Sonic showing up, a zoom-in on Sulky instead. I won't lie, seeing the line I occasionally saw replace the I am God line from the original game, it kind of made me smile a little bit. How exactly does one sulk? Anyways, you fiddled the riddle, the game is over. Yippee! Wahoo! Sulky.mpeg was a fairly charming game, and obviously most of the humor didn't age gracefully, but the unserious nature and silliness of the game still works out right. I'd argue there's a few more misses in the humor than hits, but listen, you throw a slow-down SpongeBob laughing anywhere, and I will giggle like a child. This game made a name for itself in the Sonic EXE community, enough to warrant a sequel in the form of a Sally.exe parody. Sulky was even included in the canceled update to one of the most popular Friday Night Funkin' mods versus Sonic EXE. If you're in the market for slightly funny creepypasta parody games, I don't know what you're doing with your free time, hey, you have an option. Now, I could go on about various different games that fit my criteria of slow. There's quite a lot of EXE games out there that feature an evil version of a popular character, killing 3 of their friends off one by one, and of course including some tried and true jump scares. However, my goal here wasn't to point out every example of Sonic EXE being copied or sampled by other games. It was to demonstrate the insane effects this game had on the viral horror scene at the time. Similar to what Slender and FNAF went through, so many horror games popped up trying to emulate it, which just snowballed into so much more than that, both positive and negative. Most of the games I talked about went on to become more than just a Sonic EXE duplicate, or parody, or sequel, or whatever. Now, SpongeBob.exe, but don't worry about that. And even with my love-hate relationship with this bloody blue bastard, I gotta hand it to the game for fathering over 8 decades worth of creepypasta horror games. To me, that's pretty admirable. In fact, I was so inspired by that game, I think I'm gonna throw my own hat in the ring. That's That's right, officially announcing ToadBuff.exe. Here's a sneak peek. That's a pretty nasty expression you got. Good! Monster! You're gonna pay for that! Movies, that time he got a tattoo. This Italian guy really has seen and done everything, and this includes invading the realm of horror. Now, obviously, the franchise hasn't officially done horror content. I mean, Luigi's Mansion was a little creepy at times. There was that one weird-ass face that appeared in 3D land, and this thing was a Super Paper Mario. Well, we won't be talking about official stuff. We're going to be talking about the thing that Nintendo truly hates the most, fan games, specifically horror ones. Now, I actually took a look at the world of Mario horror games a little while back during the summer, in which I covered 5 different Mario horror games that I found intriguing. You don't have to go back and watch that video first to understand this one, but I highly recommend you check it out before or after this. So, in honor for my hype for Super Mario Wonder dropping later this month, I want to revisit the topic and cover some games I didn't know about before or didn't have time to talk about. I won't be going over the new findings on the Mario Run hack because that's just a whole can of worms I'm not prepared for. And I won't be covering the RPG Mario the Music Box. That one's getting its own video. Don't you worry, you die-hard music boxers out there. Unlike last video, I'm going to be taking a look at 6 different games, 3 creepypasta games, and 3 ROM hacks. I'll make it nice and even. However, this would not be a Mario horror game video if I didn't talk about an EXE game. Oh boy, do I have one for you. The simply titled Mario.exe was created by Cool Rash all the way back in 2015, I think. This was a fairly big creepypasta game back in the day, at least compared to other Mario horror games out at the time. It was mostly an answer to the growing popularity of Sonic.exe, but let's be real, Sega does what Nintendo. Anyways, did this Mario EXE game age poorly, or is this secretly a hidden cult classic that will be talked about for years to come? It aged poorly. The game opens on the classic Super Mario Bros. Screen. It's good, but I really wish it had more blood everywhere. Oh, thank God. After selecting to play as Luigi, you go to the classic 1-1 level with the most shit ever. Listen, I'm not expecting perfection, but Luigi stops completely the second you stop pressing on the key. This was fine for this level, but it made later platforms kind of annoying. I mean, I shouldn't be too hard on this game. At least you can jump unlike the original Sonic EXE, so at least it's got that going for it. Once you get to the end of the level, Mario EXE is waiting for you! He flashes his Snow White choppers at you and burns the castle to the ground, leaving all of the Toads to die horrible deaths. As a Toad enjoyer, no time to mourn their loss though, because slow motion spikes start to fall from the ceiling. All you really gotta do is hold the right button and keep sprinting to escape. The next level has you underground, passing more dead Toads than I'm gonna crawl through my computer screen and beat your ass myself, I swear. You have to avoid these green mushrooms laid out on the ground. I would avoid touching them, because if you do, you will get a whole lot of sick. Even the mushroom gauntlet is at the end, where Mario throws a bunch of spikes at you. I'll be honest, this took me way longer than it should have to understand how to avoid the giant spikes coming towards you. But after the first 3 spikes get thrown, you just hold jump and you'll survive. This game just keeps hating on me though, because right after you avoid the spikes, a zombie Toad proceeds to attack you. After shedding a quick tear for what I knew I had to do, I killed the Toad and won. Mario says whatever the hell this is, and you now need to do some platforming. That annoying part comes into play, as there's no momentum with your controls, and everything feels so stiff. So your jumps end up feeling like they need to be timed perfectly, and you need to follow through with every button press that you make. Also, some platforms are just unforgiving, you'll slip right off of them. Also, I'm sure it's partially intentional, but whenever you jump, the screen moves with you to accommodate for that, making some platforms impossible to see, and you just have to take a leap of faith. Speaking of a leap of faith, the devil appears, and he just tells you to jump. Of course, I listen to him because he's such a nice guy, and I continue on. Now, I'll come clean. I've seen this game before, and I know that you're supposed to trust the devil the first time, and then not trust him on the second one. I'm sorry, Satan. I lied to you. Anyways, reach the end, you go back to the left, and Mario is waiting for you at a cliff with Peach. Peach sadly didn't see the cartoon banana peel off his head and slipped right off the edge. After giving Mario the smoke and dodging his attack, you go to the right once more, only to be met with the loudest jump scare of all time. Did they need to make it 20 times louder than the rest of the game? Also, it was the FNAF jump scare sound, which makes it infinitely funnier. You reach the final level. You pass some gorgeous imagery of cats and blueberries. Definitely not satanic symbols at all. And